What's up YouTube, Oliver from Tech TV here. In today's video I'm going to be giving you a hands-on demonstration of iOS 6 on the iPad 2. Okay, so to start off with, you might notice that three icons have new designs. That is Maps, Clock and Settings. And that's because those particular apps have been redesigned. So the first one we're going to have a look at is Settings. And in Settings, you will see a few new options, for example, Privacy and the Do Not Disturb option. And the Do Not Disturb option basically mutes notifications, or disables notifications if you like. And basically, I'll just give you a quick demonstration. If you go to Notifications, tap Do Not Disturb, it says, when Do Not Disturb is enabled, a moon icon will appear in the status bar and incoming calls and alerts will be silenced. You can choose to have it scheduled so that it will automatically turn it on during certain times, say during the night. You can also have it allow calls from favourites, so you can add certain people, for example, your boss or your other half. You might want to make sure those calls come through. And the repeated calls means if someone tries to ring you back, the second call from the same person within 3 minutes will not be silenced, so if it's an emergency and someone's trying to get through, which is a handy feature. I don't know, obviously some of it is where, for example, the allow calls from. I don't think it doesn't apply to the iPad as much because you can't make phone calls on it, it's not an iPhone. But I suppose it would do that for FaceTime calls. It would just mute FaceTime calls and mess up on certain people. And the next thing which I was going to show you is Privacy. So location services and contacts, calendars and reminders, the privacy options can all be controlled from in there. So you can turn location services on and off. But it used to have its own option here. That's been replaced and you've got it there now. For example, if you go to contacts and you go to Facebook, you can allow Facebook to have access to your contacts and that kind of thing. Another thing I'll quickly show you, the last thing we'll look at in settings, is if you go to General and then head down to Accessibility, there's some new options here, mainly guided access, and what that does is allows you to disable all hardware buttons, so like the sleep lock button, the home button, and it'll also allow you to disable controls that are on screen. This is really handy if you've got children and meant to be doing revision, so you can lock it and stop them from being able to get off the app. Or, a bit like in the Apple Store, if you've seen those iPads that are beside the products they're selling, for example, say MacBooks, and they have all the information and specifications about that product on, but you can't press the home button or the lock button or anything else. It just stays in that app. It's called single app mode. I've tried to use this before and it wasn't working very well, so I'm not going to show you how it works in the video, but basically you triple press the home button when you're in the app you want to lock it in, and all the options appear. And it lets you set a passcode, so I believe to get out of the app you have to triple press the home button, and it brings the options up again, but you need to enter a passcode to be able to access the options, I think. Like I say, I haven't been able to try it out properly, however, I believe that that's what happens. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you, is exit out of Settings, is Safari. Now, while Safari isn't really redesigned, there's a few new options in it. Firstly, you've got the iCloud tabs. Now, if you have Mountain Lion, which comes out in July, which is £13.99 in the Mac App Store, or $19.99 if you're in the US, that will allow you to see any tabs you've got open on your Mac in Safari and just access them straight away, which is handy. And the second option, which is a little box with an arrow out of it, also known as the share icon. So now on Google, if you tap that icon, you can share it via mail, iMessage, or text message if you're on an iPhone, Twitter, Facebook, add to home screen. You can also print it, use an AirPrint, copy it, bookmark it, or add it to your reading list. And now any pages you add to your reading list are automatically cached, so you can watch them or read them offline, which is always handy. So that's pretty much all there is new to Safari. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you is in Notification Center. You've now got Tap to Tweet and Tap to Post. So if I just click on Tap to Tweet, it tweets tweet out, and Tap to Post, just cancel. Tap to Post does the same thing, but it basically makes a Facebook post. So there's a lot more Facebook integration now within iOS, as you saw before as well when I clicked on the share icon in Safari. Not only does it let you use Twitter, which was widely integrated in iOS 5, but it now lets you share things to Facebook as well. And it can link birthdays from Facebook onto your calendar and events, although I've disabled all of that because I decided it would be annoying if everything like events on Facebook appeared on my personal calendar. The next thing I'm going to show you is the new Maps application. As you can see, the actual maps look slightly different now. I'll zoom out a little bit so you can see. Because they're now made by Apple, not Google. They are vector maps basically, which means they're much higher quality and they load quite quickly. But as you notice, they look a bit different. And for example, if you tap on some of the icons, for example, if I tap on Lawson Middle School here, it says there's one review on Yelp and it's got a 4-star rating. If you tap on the eye, and it brings it up, because the Maps application is now integrated with Yelp, you can see pictures. There's no photos there yet, but you can also see reviews, and you can get all the information there. Obviously not everybody has this, but for a better example, if we go to De Anza College, you can see how it looks with all the photos, and it loops through the photos at the top, which is handy. If the photos aren't built in, it'll just basically use an aerial photograph of the location. So for example, Apple Inc., that's not on Yelp, but it just uses an aerial photograph of the location. It rotates around slightly. So that's quite nice how all those little hotspots are added on there by default. And if obviously you want to add your business to it, as it isn't Google anymore, you have to go on to Yelp and add your business to Yelp, and then your listing will appear on the map, I believe. I don't know if it'll be there instantly. However, you would have to add it there for any chance of it appearing. Now the new icon, let's just tap on Apple Inc., which has a picture of the car, basically does turn-by-turn directions. Because I've got location services disabled on this, if I tap on it, it won't do anything. It'll just say that I can't use it because my location services are switched off. And I'll show you some screenshots of what it looks like. Okay, so as you can see from the screenshots that are now visible, it looks quite good. It's just basically these green boxes at the top which have arrows and directions. Now I couldn't figure out why, but on my iPad 2, it wasn't reading them out with the Siri voice, which it's supposed to. The only reason why I could think is because Siri isn't on the iPad 2, but it might just be because I'm running the first developer preview, I'm not sure. But it is a very nice feature. It does it for warping directions as well, and the way it works is you basically have so many routes that appear on the map. You tap the one you want, and then, like I say, as you saw in the screenshots, those little green boxes appeared. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to show you in the Maps app is if you turn satellite on, and then you use the pinch to zoom, and you zoom right out, you get a really nice looking 3D globe, and you can use touch gestures such as pinch to zoom, or your fingers to rotate, which is really nice. Now let's just go to another location to show you the next feature. Let's go to Sydney Opera House. As you can see, it immediately switches to 3D, and we'll get this really nice 3D, and you can use your fingers to adjust the viewing angle, and also pinch to zoom, and you can use them to rotate around the image. It does take a while to load, but this is just a bit, and as you can see, a really nice view of the Sydney Opera House here. And good example here, it's like fly-through mode it's called, and you can see all the 3D buildings when you switch the camera angle like this. This is only available in certain cities as well, just the major cities. It's not available everywhere just yet, because it does take a long time to do all the 3D modelling, but it does look very nice. Very good feature. The textures are very photorealistic. Now of course, if you didn't want the 3D, if you just tap on that icon again, I'll switch it back to 2D, and you can see how it looks with the 2D photos. But if the buildings are already modelled in 3D, the aerial photographs have a third dimension to them slightly when looking at them from above. For example, just here, I don't think this has got the 3D in it, as you can see. It's just an ordinary photograph. Still good quality, but it just definitely looks amazing with those 3D buildings. Okay, well that was the Maps application. Let's move on to something else now. Let's have a little look at the Clocks app. This had a major redesign, and I really like the way it looks. You can have pages. There's only 2 pages at the minute, but I imagine when you fill them both, a new page will generate or whatever you would want to say, and I allow you to add more clocks to that. I'm not 100% sure, but I imagine that would happen. And as you can see, if you tap onto one of the clocks, you get a really nice full screen clock face. And another thing you might have noticed while in the Clocks app is previously on the iPad there was no built-in weather functionality, but now there's sort of a world map, and if you look, there's little weather icons there and temperatures. That's nice, but they're only for the capital cities of each country. For example, you can only do London in the UK, you can't have any other city. So it's not really a very good weather application, and it'll only show you what the weather is like currently. Now the next part of this is alarms, and this looks really nice if we add an alarm. For example, let's just add a random alarm. Let's have it go every Tuesday and Wednesday. And if we click save, as you can see, really nice sort of flip clock effect, and it will show you over a spreadsheet type thing what days and what the time is that the alarm will go off. Really nice way of managing multiple alarms for various different things. And if you want to remove it, you just hit edit, little sign there, and it'll just delete the alarm. Stopwatch and timer look quite similar, and the buttons have now been redesigned. For instance, start and lap, and then the lap appears down here, and if you stop, it tells you when the lap details were there, and if you click reset, it just clears everything. On timer, let's just set a 1-minute timer and click start. You get this sort of wedge kind of effect, so as well as seeing the numbers, there's a nice wedge effect in the background. And just click on done. And another thing worth pointing out, if you tap on sounds, you can pick any sounds for the alarms like you could, but there's a new option that says buy more tones. You click on that, it opens up iTunes, and it'll let you buy ringtones and alert tones from iTunes. However, there are only certain preset ones. You can't just put any of your own custom ones on. So you can get more functionality with ringtones, but you're forced to use the ones that are built into iTunes, unfortunately. That has positives and negatives, but obviously it means you've got to buy them if you want to use them. You can't just use songs, they've got to be specific ringtones from iTunes. Which is better than just having the standard ones, but I don't know whether I'll be buying any. But anyway, pick your sounds from there. And I'm running out of Clocks app. Another thing I'd like to show you is the Mail application. As you can see, when you launch it now, there's a few new options in mailboxes. Apart from having normal all inboxes, you've also got VIP, and you can add people that you want to have VIP, and their emails will appear in a separate mailbox and also appear as a push notification in Notification Center and on the lock screen. That happens automatically when you add a VIP. You've also got the option, if you flag a message, you can, that message will appear. Flag a message by tapping on the flag icon, then a new mailbox will appear there called flag. And another thing, the final new feature in the Mail app, if you drag down you get this cool little animation. See there, it's like a weird little animation that refreshes your mailboxes, so no need for a button anymore. You've just got a nice little animation, which is a really nice touch. Okay, so finally in this video, there's been quite a lot of new features, but the final thing I'm going to be able to show you in today's video is the App Store. iTunes Store and the App Store apps have been redesigned, as you can see. They actually look very nice with a dark interface, and if I just tap on an app and show what it looks like, it'll launch just a little pop-up page instead of bringing out a big page. But this is details, reviews, and then related apps, which is nice. And then you view your screenshots. It's a little bit slow, but that's because this is just a developer preview, but you view your screenshots like that. As you can see, if you scroll along, all of the apps just appear like icons, which is a nice addition. And let's just search for an app, say Facebook. Now, instead of it saying install and having a greyed out icon that you can't do anything with, it now says open. If you've got the app ready installed, then it will launch the app. I'm not going to press that, but that's what it does, it just launches the app. And that just looks so much better, and basically it's so handy. If you've got the app there, you can just open it without having to look for it on your home screen for ages. So those are all the main features in the new iOS 6, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Please note that not all features are available on all devices, but iOS 6 is compatible with iPhone 3GS, iPhone 4 and iPhone 4S, along with the original iPad, iPad 2 and the new iPad. However, like I say, some features, for example turn-by-turn navigations, aren't available on the iPhone 4, and Siri is unfortunately only available on iPhone 4S and the new iPad. Okay, well, if you want more detailed information about any of the features you've seen in this video, head over to Apple's website and click on iOS 6, which is currently on the homepage. Okay, well, thanks for watching this video. Don't forget to comment if you have any questions, thumbs up, subscribe, and please share this video. Bye for now.